Yo, we got the big bubble, Air Max 1 for Air Max month or day or week. I don't even know. Yo, y'all let me know what it is, because I don't even know no more. Is it Air Max month, Air Max day? I don't know. Nike, y'all gotta fix this up, man, because it's confusing. What's good, family? You are looking live at another episode of Special Delivery, and as y'all can see, well, actually, you know what? You probably don't actually know what's in this box, because this is a pretty cool box. Doesn't look like an original Air Max box, really, outside of the I guess the scuff marks around it, but this is the Air Max 186 Big Bubble, the OG red colorway that everybody knows and loves in its original form. There's a pretty cool story behind this sneaker that I honestly had no idea about before just a few months ago, but the Big Bubble was the original look of the Air Max 1, which is dope, man, and we're gonna dive into that story today. But before we hit y'all with that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you smash that notification bell, just so you can catch that fire content whenever it comes on our channel. And without further ado, let's dive into these fire joints for Air Max day or week or month or whatever it is Nike wants to call it these days. Let's crack these things open, see what they hitting on, man. Oh, this is cool. You get a look at the OG Air Max 1, the little OG look at that joint right there. Let's move that to the side real quick. Take a look at the actual sneaker, which, y'all, this is fire. This is fire. This is a fire shoe right here, man. Like, obviously, this is a look at the original look of the Air Max 1, which also dropped, if y'all recall, back in 2017 for the 30th anniversary of the shoe. I think I'm doing my math right there. And it came in this same red, white, and gray colorway right here. And as you can see, you got that same vibe right here, and you get a lot of that bright red right here on this toe. So this mudguard right here that you see kind of goes through the entire sneaker right here. It's just that OG bright red color on the Air Max 1. It looks beautiful right here, man. And then you've got that mesh material that you can see right here in that toe area, even going into the midfoot area a little bit. Move up to the tongue right here, move that lace back. You see you got more mesh material right there, but then the eyelets here are actually this gray kind of almost white felt suede material right here. Gives the shoe a little bit of contrast to the white that's throughout the rest of it, which is something that we're used to on the Air Max 1, and it's honestly one of my favorite subtle touches to this sneaker right here. Just not this sneaker alone, but just the entire, most of the Air Max models that you see that copy off this classic vintage look, they'll have that gray there, which I think is just a really nice touch. And then moving on, we got this red swoosh right there. It's just a beautiful look right there. You got the ice white laces in these joints. Then you got that Nike Air logo right here on the tongue. And the tongue actually gives me a little bit of a, there's like a little tinge of red in this joint. I don't think that this is a stain here. I think this is actually cosmetic, something that they added in to the sneaker to make it look a little bit more vintage in this case. You go to the back, you see you got a little bit more of that gray right here, along with that Nike Air logo, and then you got that mudguard once again with that bright red. But the thing that everybody is here for, obviously, is this swoosh, or not the swoosh, but is this this airbag right here. This joint is huge, y'all. Like, this is way bigger than the Nike Air Max 1 airbags that we're used to. It's literally like the entire heel of the sneaker. It's like from here to here, which is a lot considering that normally it's like very small, very little. But this is just the original look that the Air Max 1 was presented with. And it's very firm. This is a very, like, the Air is typically not soft or anything like that. It has to give you a little bit more support, but this is a lot of support in this joint. You go up to the forefoot area, there's a little bit more softness, there's a little bit more cushion in this thing. And then even as you can see in the outsole right here, classic Air Max 1 outsole, but this thing is a lot more flat than what we're used to with the typical Air Max 1, because this airbag is just so big. Like, it's just that big, y'all. It's very weird. It's like wearing two different shoes at one time almost. You know how the Air Max 97 has the full length air unit in it? This is like half of that, which is pretty wild to think about. But again, man, this is the original look at the original version of the Air Max 1. And I think that's a pretty cool story, man. Let's dive into that for a second. So as we know, the Air Max 1 originally dropped in 1987, and it came in this red, white, and gray colorway that looks a lot similar to this. And we actually paid homage to those joints back in 2017 with a pair that came for the 30th anniversary of the shoe. I think I'm doing my math right there. And that was a pretty great sneaker. It's something that, you know, back then it was the whole Air Max month, day, whatever thing became an actual thing. And we got a bunch of different pairs of Air Maxes, and then we got those. And so seeing that shoe come back and reintroducing people to the history of the Air Max 1 and the Air Max line in general was pretty cool. But this model right here, to answer the question of where these things came from, this is the original to the original model that we know and love today. So the story goes that these actually dropped in 1986, but they just had problems. There were problems with the way that they were performing out in the wild. So in extremely cold temperatures, this huge air bubble that you see right here, it would actually break. It would burst and it would ruin the entire shoe because it's such an integral part of the infrastructure of this sneaker. As y'all can see, this bubble is really big. And so if it bursts open and it collapses, the shoe's going to feel really weird. And so Nike got wind of that, recalled the shoes, brought them back in, got rid of them, made the bubble a little bit smaller, and dropped the joints that we know and love today as the Air Max 1 in 1987, and the rest is really history. Here we are today. So this is paying homage to that original model, and I just think that's a really cool thing. It's also kind of the vibe with Nike right now with their whole like reimagined thing where you got these sneakers right here. You've also got the Air Jordan 3s that we just got and the Air Jordan 1s that we got last year, and more Air Jordans that are actually coming later on down the line. And so I think that's cool, but I also want to talk a little bit about the reimagined vibe that we're getting right now, because I don't really feel like everything needs to be reimagined. And if we're going to reimagine some things or bring back some things from a long time ago in their original forms, I feel like we should be really selective with that. Let's talk about that for a second, because I kind of got a bone to pick. So as y'all know, we've gotten a lot of reimagined looks at classic sneakers from Nike in recent months. Obviously we have these joints right here, but we just got the Air Jordan 3 in that white cement colorway, and we got the Air Jordan 1 in that Chicago colorway at the tail end of 2022. And that was really cool stuff. It's been really fun to see all these sneakers that we grew up loving and hoping to one day get. And seeing them being retroed in this original form that we haven't really seen all that often. Like you might see it once every decade or so, right? So getting these models and learning the stories about them has been really cool. I just hope that Nike doesn't really overdo it with this whole reimagined thing. Like I know we have some more reimagined Jordans coming down the line, reportedly, I should say, because none of this is really confirmed, but we got the Royals coming supposedly later this year. You got the Bread Force coming a year from now, which like, why are we reporting sneakers that are coming out a year from now? I have no idea. These leaks are very annoying, but that's besides the point. Like, I just don't want things to get to a point where like we are expecting these reimagined sneakers, these retroed sneakers. I really just think that this should be something that we keep special, something that we keep near and dear to our hearts. And I think that if we see these things too often, just like we have with collabs now, they just automatically get watered down a little bit. Like if I get a reimagined sneaker every 4 to 5 months, it's kind of a bit much to me. So I just ask Nike for your boy one time, please do not overdo it with this. Please do not overthink it with this. These are really good. The 3s are really good. The 1s are really good. Just don't do too much. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But anyway, fam, that's a wrap for this episode of Special Delivery. I'm your boy Sykes, and this is Nike's 1986 Air Max 1 Big Bubble. We will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.